I go around, I go around, I go around and I go around and I go around.
Hello, hello. So since I clearly cannot get enough of Love Island and I generally have a problem, I'm like actually like uploading Love Island USA like on my laptop over there that I have open for notes. And I'm like filming my first, well, because like Love Island USA I filmed in like two parts because I was like, I want to make my life easier when I'm editing. So I was like, same for here. I'm doing the first part of Love Island UK. We are the 28th. No, we're the 30th. We're the 30th. Love Island UK finished on the 27th. I have not yet finished it, so I do not know who is winning just yet, but I am pretty far advanced. I was like, I just want to like, yes, I can maybe wait a few days and then like film the entire thing, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take breaks like what I did for Love Island USA, because as much as I love this show, the mental turmoil that I have to put myself through, and it's like, once again, I just finished Love Island USA, I'm like, I need a break from reality TV, but we are here for Love Island UK season 13 from like 2026. Yes, so personally for me, I have always liked Love Island UK better. Obviously it is the OG, and yes, I can see why people call it a bit more boring because not as much happens, it's not as much drama. I personally like it better because it's less like raunchy than Love Island USA, and I don't know, for me, like I like it better. I like the personalities more. Yes, I guess like USA it's more entertaining on the day to day, but I do prefer UK. So I hope that if you guys started figure out about Love Island from Love Island USA, you can find a little joy in Love Island UK, because personally it is my favorite. But yeah, let's go right into season 13. So something new that we're doing this season that we never did before. Like normally we have the girls who walk in and the guys, right? Or the girls walk, they talk, and then like the guys come in and they couple up. This season, we actually have like a girl and guy who walk in at the same time. So we have Lola and OP, Angelissa and Lorenzo, Jasmine and Sean, Ellie and Sam. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. End of July, beginning of August means I have my allergies, so I did not bring Kleenex. I should have probably brought Kleenex. Ellie and Sam, Robin and Samraj, and then Mika and Aiden. So do I want to tell you my favorites? From the start, I was like, I do really like Jasmine. I like Fitz. I like Lola and Ellie, oh my god, like the first time we see her, she's so bubbly, she's so fun. Like I generally loved all of the girls. But yeah, so they come in like a guy, a girl, they sit down, get to know each other, and then Maya comes in, and obviously we're gonna have like the first coupling. Normally there's like a game, there's a challenge, whatever. Maya gives them a little like icebreaker where they like drink to like answer questions, and then she's like, you know what, for you guys to couple up, it's up to you. Talk it out, figure it out by yourself. The first couple that we have is, I think, Mika and Samraj. Then we have Jasmine, who decides to go with Lorenzo, Angelissa and OP. I bugged for her name for a second. Lola and Sean, Aiden and Ellie, leaving Robin and Sam to couple up. I really hope the pictures are not too small for Love Island USA. I think there was like 30 something cast, and like it fit, but it was tight. And then now like we have more people, so I was like, I think I have to make them smaller so everything fits. I hope you guys can see. I'm like looking through my viewfinder and I feel like you guys can like see and like make out who's who. But yeah, fingers crossed. Day number one. So how I do it is like the first day, I don't count it as day one, I count like the first real day as like day one. So day number one, already we have two new bombshells. We have, oh my god, I got them together. We have Yasmin as well as George. So Maya meets them outside of the villa and she's like, okay, you guys can keep this a secret. You guys have 24 hours to get to know people. Then you decide who you want to dump from the villa. It can be for whatever reason. Oh, I mean, from the night before, I just want to add that the only couple that kissed is Ellie and Aiden. But yeah, so that's what we have to start off day number one. I'm gonna finish talking about day one and then we're gonna like put them on the board. So we have Aiden, who actually pulls Ellie to the terrace, and this season they name it the like Ken's terrace because like the people from Ken are like bringing people to the terrace. So yeah, so Aiden and Ellie do share another kiss. They all play a little game for Yasmin and I was gonna say Greg and George to get to like know the Islanders. And then we also have Robin, who's actually getting like pretty close with George. Like he's like just her type, so that's great. And they have something going on. They haven't kissed yet, but George is like, oh, you know what, like let's go to the hideaway to like sleep together tonight so we can be in the same bed. Robin considers it for a second, but at the end she's like, I do want to be respectful to Sam. I still want to like be nice and like see if there's something there, even though I'm not really feeling it. So she does say no. I just realized I never gave my intro. So hi, if you're new here, my name is Mila. I make everything from postgrad, lifestyle, and bookish type content, and obviously we talk about like what I call pop culture. So we talk about music, we rank songs, we rank albums, we talk about Love Island and Vanderpump Rules, and I'm trying to find another show to talk about once Love Island and Vanderpump is done. Is it a reality TV? Is it like a serious show? I do not know. Let me know what you guys think. I think something that can be like super fun is to go through the entire like Vampire Diaries and like literally like deep dive into the Vampire Diaries. Like I'm sure other people have done it before, but I don't know, you know, let me know what you guys think. But anyways, back to today's video, back to Love Island. So day number 2, we have a lot that's going on. So Lorenzo actually is really into Yasmin. So he makes her breakfast. Then we have Aiden and Yasmin who talk and they're getting to know each other. They get along really, really well. And Aiden tells her that, you know, if he can pick who to recouple with, he would pick her. Later that day, we have George and Robin who go to the terrace and they do kiss, as well as Lola and Fitz. And then at night, we get a text for everyone to gather around the fire pit. And then it is revealed that Yasmin and George get to like send an Islander home. Yasmin truly, like, I really like Yasmin because making this decision was so hard for her. And she kept on talking to George, kept on being like, okay, you know, like, do we do this? Do we do that? Like, Jasmine generally seems like such a genuine person. Like, she's one of my, like, honestly, the girls from this season I love, but like, especially, my bad, it's gonna be so hard not to mix them up because there's Jasmine and there's Yasmin. Like, I love both, but Yasmin, literally from day one, you can tell like how hard it is for her to like not be mean, but to like send someone home to something like a little bit nasty. Yasmin decides to send Ellie home so she can get to know Aiden, and then George decides to, well, he knows that he has something going with Robin, and he knows that Sam isn't really a threat because they're a friendship couple, but he's also trying to get to know Mika, and Sam Raj would be a threat. So George decides to dump Sam Raj. So we see them leaving the villa, and then they get into the car. Obviously think they're gonna drive away, but then they get a text, and the text basically says that like, oh, your Love Island journey isn't over. And we're like, wait, what? The car actually brings them back to the hideaway where they stay the night, and Ellie and Sam Raj are talking, figuring out their plan, being like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna get this person back. Ellie's like, I'm gonna work extra hard to get Aiden back. Sam Raj is like, I'm gonna work extra hard to like make sure that Mika doesn't like George. And that's where we leave day number 2. So day number 3, we have, where is he? Aiden, who pulls Yasmin to the terrace, and they do kiss. So you're seeing why it's called like the Kent's terrace, because Aiden is from Kent, and he's like, you know, this is like the second girl he kisses in the terrace. So we're probably thinking that, okay, you know, Sam Raj and Ellie are going to be sent back to the villa, but oh no, they wake up in the hideaway and they get a text that 2 new bombshells are waiting to get to know them, and you know, they get ready, and then we have Kevin, as well as, oh my god, I got 2, as Priya. So something interesting, right? I don't think you're going to be able to see because the pictures are so small. Do we see a little family resemblance? Probably not, but turns out that Kevin is actually Aiden's younger brother. I did separate not Kaden, oh my god, Aiden from Ellie, as well as Samish from Mika, because like technically they're like not in the villa, and then Aiden and Mika are single. But yeah, so Samraj has his date, my bad, Samraj has his date with Priya, Kaden has his date with Ellie, and then they all get back to the villa. So everyone is like super, super surprised. We have Ellie, who did have like a really good connection with Aiden. So they do talk when she gets back in the villa, and he tells her that he's really happy getting to know Yasmin. And Ellie's like, okay, you know what? Like, if you are really into her, you do want to put a lot of energy into her. I'm personally going to take a step back. I'm not closed off to getting to know you, but I'm like, you know, I'm taking a pretty big step back. And Ellie, one thing that I love about her, oh my god, she leaves no room for guys to be like, oh, I don't know, whatever. She's like very, very firm with her boundaries, and she's not scared to walk away. Her and Priya also, what I really, really admired from this season, I feel like the girls are so like, I know what I want, I'm gonna like give until I see it's not reciprocated, and like something happens, you want to get to know someone else, I'm done. That's why I love these girls, because especially compared to like Love Island USA, oh my god, like Melanie, you have to meet Ellie. Like, Ellie can teach you so much. That's where I was like, I think I'm really, really gonna like Ellie. So at night we get a text that there's a recoupling and the girls can pick, but there is a little caveat. So if Priya doesn't pick Samraj, and if Kaden doesn't pick Ellie, it means that Ellie and Samraj will be dumped. So Priya goes first, she does pick Samraj, Kevin goes next and he picks Ellie. Then we have Lola who picks Sean, Angelissa who picks Opie, Yasmin who picks Kaden. Oh my god, I feel feel I'm gonna constantly do that. Yasmin who picks Aiden, Mika who picks George, Jasmine who picks Lorenzo, and then Robin who ends up with Sam. She did want to pick George, but since Mika went first, Mika picked George. So Robin is like a little bit annoyed that she's still in a friendship couple when she has someone who she's like really interested in. But actually, after they were coupling, George and Robin go to the terrace, and Robin like voices how annoyed she is and how she's like, okay, you know, like I thought we had something great, but like you still want to get to know Mika. Like I don't really understand what's going on. Robin actually asked him for a kiss, and George is like, I want to be respectful to my couple, so I don't think I'm gonna kiss you like tonight. Then she's like, you know what? If you want to kiss me, that's up to you, but I'm gonna stop like grafting. I'm gonna stop trying. It's like fully in your hands. The next day, day number 4, we have let me recouple everyone. So we actually have George who does kiss Mika, and day 4, you know, Robin finds out. She's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna take a step back because you did kiss her. Like, I don't want to get hurt. I'm like slightly removing myself. And she's like talking with George, right? And the next thing we find out is that George left the villa, and it's I forget who it was. I think it was like Lorenzo or someone who goes tells the group. And online it was said that he left for like personal reasons for a family emergency. But then it was revealed that he got a like formal warning from the producer because of like something that he said. I don't know what he said, but you know, you can kind of like assume what he said. So yeah, the first person to be removed, like I think this is the first time that someone was removed from Love Island UK from like when I started like watching it. I think it was Davide and Ekinsu's season. I think that's when I started getting into it. No one had been removed. Truly thought that was only like a Love Island USA thing. But yeah, so George is no longer, I was gonna say no longer with us. No, he's just like no longer in the villa. We have Aiden and Yasmin who talk, and Aiden accidentally calls her Ellie. So at first, Yasmin is like, oh, did I hear that properly? Yeah, unfortunately, it's the first of many. They end up getting a little text that there is like a cocktail night party. So great, everyone loves it. But then when they're getting ready, the guys do get a text that 2 new bombshells are waiting for them, and they can decide if they want to leave or not. So in the end, all the guys decide to leave. However, Fitz says, okay, you know, like I'm leaving to be supportive, but like I'm closed off. Samraj was a little bit like hesitant, but in the end, he decided to agree. I think mainly because like Fitzy decided to go. So the girls, obviously they're like, oh, what happened? Where's the guys? They come out, they see that there's a TV, so they get to watch everything that was going on. And our 2 new bombshells are Namibia as well as Victoria. The biggest like area of concern on this date was that OP, before he even sees the girls, he's just like, oh, I can't trust myself, I have a wondering guy, whatever. Angelista is pissed off because she's like, you were literally gone for like 10 minutes and you're already acting like this. Like, what the hell is this behavior? The girls decide like they get to pick like who to go on private dates with. I think they have a total of 3. I do not remember who they went on dates with. When everyone comes back, the girls are really pissed off. They have their individual chats with the guys. Angelissa actually kicks OP out of the bed because she's like, I saw how you move. I don't want to sleep next to you. You go sleep outside. You go sleep somewhere else. We can talk tomorrow and figure it out. So the next day we have Sam, who actually makes, was it Victoria or Namibia? He makes Victoria a coffee. So, you know, Sam is finding people who he's interested in. Lorenzo was getting to know Priya. He really likes her, so he pulls her into the hideaway and they do share a kiss. We also have, where is he? We have Kevin who pulls Jasmine to a Kevin's terrace and they also share a kiss. So actually, before Kevin pulls Jasmine obviously saw when Lorenzo pulled Priya to the hideaway. So she talks with him and she's like, hey, you know, if you want to get to know her, then I'm going to take a step back. He's like basically saying that he wants to fight for her. He doesn't want this to be over. He's going to like put an effort. And Jasmine is seeing like a little bit of a change in Lorenzo, but eventually, like, you know, she does like end up kissing Kevin on the terrace. Sam was getting to know both bombshells, but he is hitting it off more with Victoria. So he brings Victoria up to the terrace, and as you can see, the terrace is like very busy today. He brings her to the terrace and they do share a kiss. And then the last notable thing that happened today was that Lola and Sean have a conversation and they decide to be closed off. Truly, Lola and Sean, well, like Fitz, I love them. I love them so much. Like, you know, sometimes couples from day one I do find maybe a little bit obnoxious. Them truly, they're my favorites. So day number 6, obviously we know that yesterday Sam pulled Victoria to the terrace and they had a little kiss. So today, since obviously he was still getting to know Namibia, he decides to pull Namibia to, was it the hideaway? I think the hideaway, and they do share a little kiss. Then we have a text that there is a recoupling. Obviously we're gonna have Victoria and Namibia who pick first. So Namibia picked Sam and then Victoria decides to go with Opie. Then the men get to pick who they want to couple up with. So we have Sean who picks Lola, Kevin who picks Jasmine, Lorenzo who picks Priya, Samraj who picks Mika, Aiden who picks Yasmin, meaning that we have Ellie, Robin, and Angelista who are all single. They do get a text that there are two bombshells who are being introduced to the villa, Simba as well as Tommy. Right? So we think, okay, you know, like they're gonna go on a date, then they're gonna decide who they wanna like couple up with. But no, what happens is that Maya basically tells him, okay, you know, pick on the spot. Do you wanna couple up with Ellie, Angelista, or Robin based on first impressions? Yeah, I think Tommy, who goes first, he decides to couple up with Ellie, and then we have Simba who gets to pick between Robin and Angelista, and he does end up picking Angelista, meaning that Robin is unfortunately dumped from the villa. So after the recoupling, Ellie actually pulls, Lorenzo, and she asks him, why didn't you pick Yasmin? Because you clearly are into Yasmin, you want to get to know her. And Lorenzo said that he was like thinking of picking Yasmin when he was giving his speech, but Yasmin didn't like eye contact with him once, so he decided to pick Priya. Ellie's like, you know what, if you do like her, I think still try to get to know her, still go for it, you never know what's gonna happen. And that marks the end of day number 6. So day number 7, we have Lorenzo who pulls Yasmin to the terrace. They do not kiss, but he basically tells her that she's his number one like top choice in the villa. We actually have Simba who pulls Angelista to the terrace, and he does kiss her. Everyone is like pretty much happy. Opie is pissed. Opie is pissed off. I think it's Jasmine who pulls Angelista after, and they talk about like Opie and Simba, and Angelista's like, yeah, you know, I think I'm done with Opie. Simba is like so much better. Opie, like from very early on, I saw the type of like person who he is, through his behavior. It's completely done with Opie. Later during the day, we actually have Opie and Angelista who talk, and it's a little bit heated. So Opie's getting like very defensive when Angelista tells him about the kiss, and he's starting something. He's like, oh, you don't care about me, you don't care about my feelings, blah blah blah. Angelista's like very, very calm. He's like blowing up. He then pulls Simba, and keep in mind, like everyone is like watching. He pulls Simba, like talking pretty loudly, being very annoyed at the situation. Simba's like pretty cool, calm, and collected. Opie's blowing up. He's like throwing out lines like, oh, you know, I know it's not about looks because I'm a 10 on 10 and things like that. Yeah, it's just like very explosive. Things like they don't really like resolve the issue. Everyone just like goes to bed. Simba does try to like pull him privately, but like it's still pretty heated, still pretty cold. But however, on day number 8, they do have another conversation and they're civil. Things are good. Then we do have a text where like a text for a challenge. After the challenge, the guys are acting really weird because they do not like how the girls were in the challenge, but it's still like it is a challenge, and basically they refuse to talk to the girls. So at night when the girls come back, they're all dressed up, they're all ready. They're like, why are the boys in their own corner acting like they're in primary school? Oh my god, I just got like a whiff of like allergy. My eyes are watering, my nose is like burning. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm really struggling today with my allergies. But anyways, there is like drama that starts in the villa. Aiden ends up pulling Jasmine, and he's like, oh, you know, I would never date someone like you. Like, I don't see how anyone would like want to date someone with like you because of your attitude. Excuse me? Like, she's literally just being defensive and protective of her friends. What is this behavior? Especially because he's like coupled up, like especially because she's coupled up with his brother. It has more of an impact, you know. It's not just like some random guy who you're friends with. It's like, no, like this is his like brother that's like saying this to you. Anyways, on day number 9, we have Namibia and Sam who chat, and they decide that, you know what, maybe there was something initially, but now we're seeing it more as a friendship couple. Jasmine and Aiden talk, and they're not good, but they're civil, you know? We actually have a text for a little challenge. I think a game of like Truth or Dare. Yeah, Truth or Dare, and they like pick up things, pre-made cards that Love Island made for them. I don't know why that was like so hard to say. And the last question is a dare to rank the islanders, well, like the couples from like most compatible to least compatible. So, you know, obviously Lola fits our first because they're like close off, and then they list everyone else, and they end up putting Victoria and Opie last because of Opie's behavior. Victoria doesn't really want to get to know him. She's interested in Sam. And unfortunately, we get a text after that saying that since Opie and Victoria were the lowest ranked couple, they're now dumped from the villa, which truly poor Sam because he liked Victoria. It was like the first girl who came in that like he actually really liked, and my poor Poor Sam, my heart truly broke for him. After the game, we have Mika and Samach who spoke. So during the Truth or Dare, Mika did have to kiss Simba. I think it was like the islander you find the most attractive, like besides the one who you're coupled up with. And Samach tells her, you know, like seeing you kiss Simba didn't make me feel great, and it made me realize like how strongly I feel for you. Mika, she's getting like really overwhelmed. Like she starts crying and she's like, you know, I'm looking at like the other couples, seeing what they have, their energy, and I don't feel like we have that. So my heart honestly broke because I thought they were such a cute couple. I don't know, that was actually like a really sad end to the day. Then day number 10, we have Yasmin, who was like, you know, she's coupled up with Aiden. She likes Aiden, but she's been getting to know Lorenzo, right? Lorenzo, where is he? Lorenzo and Fitz who talk. Lorenzo has this like little plan where he asks Fitz to tell Yasmin to meet him up at the terrace. Once she gets there, Lorenzo basically tells her like, you need to make up your mind. It's either me or Aiden. Like, I understand you're getting to know us both, but at some point like you have to make your decision, because if not, like I'm gonna make it for you. I'm gonna like focus more on Priya. And then once Jasmine comes down, she actually talks with Fitz and she tells them, you know, like I actually did really want to kiss Lorenzo, but I didn't do it like to be respectful towards Aiden. You know, something is definitely brewing. We have Lola and Fitz that get a text for a little date, which is super cute. Ellie and Tommy are getting to know each other. They're really vibing and they do end up kissing. So Tommy doesn't just kiss Ellie today. He is talking with Priya and they're vibing, and then he does ask Priya for a kiss. And basically the rule in this like season, which I think should have been a rule like every Love Island, every season, is you do not kiss two girls during the same day. So that's exactly what Priya tells him when he does try to kiss her. We also have Mika and Samach who have another conversation, and she basically tells him that when they had that conversation last night, she went to like think about it and she realized that she cannot really reciprocate what Samach is feeling, and she can't give him what she knows that he deserves. So they agree to be more like friends at this point. So obviously Priya and Ellie are friends. So Ellie knew that Tommy tried to kiss her, but Namibia didn't know that Tommy did kiss Ellie that day. So Tommy actually pulls Namibia to the terrace and they have a kiss, and Namibia, she's like, you know what, I'm gonna tell Ellie because I respect her. Like I feel like she should know. So she tells Ellie. Ellie is obviously like already annoyed by like Tommy trying to kiss Priya, but when Namibia tells her that he did actually kiss her on the terrace, Ellie goes off. She's fuming, she's pissed off, and that's how we end day number 10. So day number 11, we finally have Yasmin making up her mind. So we have Yasmin and Lorenzo who goes to the terrace and they do share a kiss. So I know that next recoupling, they're gonna pick each other if Aiden like doesn't go first and like he doesn't get in the way, but I'm like, it's happening. It is happening. We have a text for a little challenge, and it's the kissing challenge, and Mika ends up winning. Then at night we have Yasmin who pulls Aiden and she tells him about the kiss that happened in the morning because she couldn't really like tell him at any other point because of the challenge. And Aiden's like, you know what, cool, I think for me, I'm gonna cut it off here. You go explore with Lorenzo. And that's pretty much all that happened in day 11. It wasn't like super jam-packed, but also like there was the huge challenge. Day number 12. So we actually, I mean, obviously we have like Lorenzo and Priya who are coupled up, and Lorenzo did end up kissing Priya in bed. So Yasmin isn't feeling like super great about it, and like Priya does know about the kiss that Lorenzo and Yasmin had, so she also doesn't really feel super great about it. And the whole thing is like, Lorenzo just pick, like, you know, you can be kissing me one day, you can be kissing her the other day. Yasmin had to pick, now it's your turn to pick. And actually perfect timing, kind of, because like there is a recoupling, but it's like the girls who pick, but also like perfect timing. There is a recoupling. So we have Lola who picks Fitz, Priya who picks Samraj, Angelista who picks Simba, Namibia who picks Aiden, Yasmin who picks Lorenzo, trying to make sure I'm not mixing people up, Yasmin who picks Kevin, Ellie who picks Tommy, and then Mika picks Sam. So actually the night before, when Aiden had found out about Yasmin's kiss with Lorenzo, Aiden found out about Yasmin's kiss with Lorenzo, he ended up calling her Ellie a second time, right? So after the recoupling today, they end up talking again, and Aiden's getting annoyed and he calls her, why did my lighting just like drop? Did it drop? I'm so confused. But anyways, Aiden's pissed off. They were talking and he ends up calling her Ellie again. I'm gonna figure out what's going on because I'm genuinely confused. So the problem I realized was that my camera was overheating, which it has never done. It's not particularly hot outside, so I don't know, I don't understand, but oh my god, I need to angle this so I can see. I was gonna come back and like use my iPad, but my iPad is at like 4%. So you're gonna see me looking off here until my iPad is charged. But anyway, day 13, we have a text. Where are they? That Mika, Yasmin, Kevin, and Simba are all invited to a little like hangout sleepover with 4 new bombshells. So these bombshells, I should have put them up when I was waiting. These bombshells are Hallie, Chitty, Finn, as well as Tina. So the only really like I guess remarkable thing during the sleepover was that Kaden, oh my god, Kevin, yikes. Kevin was really starting to get to know Tina. You know, so obviously Hallie brought Simba in, Chitty brought Mika in, but Mika and Simba were also kind of starting to get to know each other. And Angelista's rule was that I don't want you guys to kiss outside of challenges. But since they're both at this little sleepover, Simba's like, you know what? Screw the rules. I was being super careful in the villa, but now we're here. Mika, I want to kiss you, and they do share a kiss. And that is pretty much like where we end off day number 13. So day number 14, we have everyone who goes back to the villa. They all meet and chat with each other, and then Simba basically immediately pulls Angelista to tell her about the kiss. Angelista, fuming, pissed off. He also tells Angelista that he does want to take Mika to the hideaway, so Angelista even more mad. Simba goes and asks that to Mika, and Mika's like, you know what, like I do want to spend time with you, but also it's like I don't want you to wreck what you have with Angie. I like, you know, she's my friend. I don't want you to mess things up, because if it doesn't work out between us, you have such a good thing here, and be smart how you move. So Simba, he does kind of start, I wouldn't say exactly causing a scene, but he is like very, very visibly annoyed. Not that he's like, I mean, yeah, he was kind of rude. So when Mika's talking to him, he's like looking away, not really making eye contact with her. That at some point she's like, hello, I'm talking to you, and he's just acting like super rude. And I get it's like an ego thing, because he told Angelista, oh, I'm gonna take Mika to the hideaway, and Mika said no. Like I can understand that point, but it's like you have no business having that attitude when like you're the one who's like causing problems. So Simba, like in my eyes, in the like I was gonna say villagers, in the Islander eyes and in the public, like people don't really like how he's like acting. Tommy and Hallie are chatting, and Ellie sees, you know, she's like, I'm gonna let him do whatever he wants, and he's gonna like obviously come to me today to talk. Tommy goes to Ellie and he tells her that he's not really interested in getting to know Hallie. So Ellie's like, okay, cool, I have nothing to worry about. But then later that night, Tommy and Ellie kiss. Ellie, no, my god, not Ellie, Hallie. Ellie, obviously, she finds out. She is furious. I love Ellie's Scottish accent. I genuinely love this girl so much. She's fuming. She goes like, yes, she does kind of cause a scene, but like, as she should, because he literally just, like, not even 30 minutes ago, just told her that he wasn't interested in getting to know Hallie, and then he goes and kisses her. Like, obviously, Ellie's gonna feel some type of way, and like, she makes it known. And the worst thing, like, what really fuels Ellie's, like, anger was that she was having a very good chat with Finn, and she wanted to kiss Finn, but the rule was that you do not kiss 2 people in the same day. So she was very, very respectful. She already kissed Tommy, so she's like, I'm not gonna kiss Finn. But then Tommy ends up doing that, so that's why she was like super mad. And yeah, Ellie basically just calls it off. So moving on to day number 15, Mika and Simba, who have a chat, and obviously Mika felt like Simba was being really rude to her the night before, so she was like, you know what, Simba, I think like this, we're gonna call it quits. We have Aiden, where is he? Aiden, who ends up taking Tina to the hideaway, and he does try to kiss her, but Tina's like, no, you know, not now, like we're gonna wait a little bit. And then at night, we have a text where the bombshells get to steal an islander. Hallie goes first, she picks Tommy. Chitty goes next, he picks Mika. Tina decides to pick Aiden. I was gonna say Kaden again, Aiden. And then Finn decides to pick Ellie. Since Ellie and Tommy both got stolen, the only 2 single islanders that we have are Namibia and where is he? And Sam. Oh my god, I lost Sam and Sam, and unfortunately they are both dumped from the villa. After this, we actually have Mika and Sandwich. We're having a conversation, and Sandwich is being honest about how he feels with Priya. He's like, I'm kind of getting a little bit of the ick, like I am trying with her, but what is me trying? What is me like knowing that I'm not really into her? Like he's kind of like an in-between. And Priya, bless her soul, Priya walks in the middle of this conversation. Poor girl has like no idea what is going on, and she like basically cuts it off, right? Mika ends up running into Samraj like later on, and she's like, you know, I want to continue the conversation, and they're on the way up to the terrace. Mika, like, you cannot see her, but Samraj is like walking up there, and then Priya passes by again, and she's like, oh, where you're going? And he's like, oh, don't worry about it, I'm going to the bathroom. Poor Priya, like, I can understand like how she feels, but then also it's like she couldn't have known that she interrupted them twice. But they do get to talk on the terrace. They do not kiss, but they basically both say, you know, I do kind of want to explore things with you. And Mika actually tells him that yes, like she did feel a bit overwhelmed. she always did have a soft spot, and Samwatch is just completely honest. He's like, you know, Mika, like my feelings for you never left, but I don't want to like sabotage the friendship. And even though Mika's like agreeing that she wants to keep the door open, she wants to explore, Samwatch is like, I want you to take the time to be absolutely sure because I don't want you to get into your head again. And that's where we leave off day number 15. So day number 16, we have a text. What the Islanders decide who is the least compatible couple. So we have Jasmine, oh my god, Jasmine and Kevin who go first, and they pick Hallie and Tommy. Next we have Hallie and Tommy who pick Mika and Chitty. Jasmine and Lorenzo pick Aiden and Tina. Mika and Chitty decide to go with Hallie and Tommy. Ellie and Finn, as well as Angelissa and Simba, both, well, all four, or I guess both because it's like the couple, go with Mika and Chitty. Lola and Fitz, as well as Priya and Samraj, decide to go with Hallie and Tommy. And then finally, the last couple to go is Tina and Aiden, and they vote for Mika and Chitty, meaning that Tommy and Hallie have 4 votes, as well as Mika and Chitty. So since they're a tie, we have 4 Islanders that are vulnerable: Hallie, Tommy, Mika, and Chitty. So basically what Maya says is that everyone has to give their case, give why they should stay on the island and like not the other people. So Mika, she doesn't want to tell people just yet that she did talk with Samwatch and there's like something going on over there, so she kind of like keeps quiet about it. Chitty is very verbal, saying that like, you know, Tommy has been moving crazy. He had his chance, he tried it with 3 girls, he messed it up. I'm new here, like I haven't got the chance. Hallie, basically she says like the only reason why you guys didn't find us compatible is because Tommy messed up, so it's not fair if I leave just because of like Tommy. In the end, all the Islanders decide that Mika is safe, and then the choice is between Tommy, Hallie, and Chitty. So they do agree that it should be Mika and then like a new Islander to give them the chance, but then they can only decide, so they propose to go to a vote. They asked who wants to save Chitty, I don't remember how many hands go up, who wants to save Hallie, and then who wants to save Tommy, and they're the most hands for Tommy. So people are confused. It's like, okay, well, you wanted to save, like, I mean, especially Hallie and Chitty, they're like, you guys wanted to save someone who's new, yet you all vote for Tommy, and you're saying that like the reason why Tommy's here, well, like that me and Tommy are here, is because of Tommy's actions. You guys all decided to save Tommy. Understandably, they're very pissed off, and like I was also, I did not think that like it would have gone that way given like the conversations. And how we end the day is that Kevin is talking with Samraj and Aiden, and he tells them that he does want to close things off with Jasmine, but they're both like, okay, you know, like sleep on it. Yesterday was like such a big high, like you guys were ranks pretty highly in like compatibility. Make sure that you're 100% sure that like this is what you want. I decided to come back with my iPad because it was way too hard if not. Day number 17, we have Mika and Samraj who are continuing to get to know each other. We do have a little text at night for game of Never Have I Ever. There's a lot of just like animosity between Tina and Aiden, and after the game she decides to cut it off because Aiden was just being like a little bit rude, but it's also like they weren't really compatible, but it's like what he was saying like wasn't super polite in front of everyone. Like he was basically telling her one thing, telling the group something else. So she's like, you know what, like I'm done, I don't even want to entertain anymore, finito. We also have another couple who calls it quits, Priya and Samraj. So they talk after the game. Priya, seeing how Samraj is with Mika, she's like, I'm done. However, day 18, the next day, she talks with Samraj again and she's like, you know, I think I acted out of emotion last night, I don't want to cut it completely off. But then we have a text for a recoupling. Oh no, not my bad. We have a text for the heart rate challenge. We have Simba's heart that was raised the most by Angelissa. Tommy's heart was raised the most by Jasmine. Aiden's heart was raised the most by Ellie. Kevin's heart, as well as Fitz's heart, was raised the most by Jasmine. Finn's heart was raised the most by Tina. So now moving on to the guys. So Priya, Ellie, and Mika's heart was actually raised the most by Samraj. Lola's heart was raised the most by Fitz. Angelissa's heart the most by Simba. Jasmine and Yasmin's heart was raised the most by Lorenzo. And then finally, Tina's heart was raised the most by Finn. So during this heart rate challenge, we have Tommy who put like liquid in his mouth and then came up to Jasmine and spit in her mouth, right? So Kevin isn't really like happy about it, and the next day, day 18, he talks with the same guys who he talked about to be exclusive with Jasmine. He pulls Aiden and Samraj and he's like, you know, after this challenge, I don't know if I want to become exclusive with her because it did kind of like rub me the wrong way. Priya and Samraj talk and they decide to completely end it, and then we we get a little text that it was a public vote for the favorite islanders. So the favorite girl is Ellie, the favorite boy is Lorenzo. Obviously, in classic Love Island fashion, the three least favorite girls and boys are vulnerable. So least favorite girls, we have Tina, Lola, and Priya, and then the least favorite guys, Simba, Tommy, and Aiden. And who gets to pick who leaves are the two most favorite islanders. They decide to dump Tommy. Oh my god, I'm not left-handed, so this is hard, as well as Tina. Day number 20. So Yasmin is feeling really sad after last night's dumping. You know, normally she expects her partner to be super, super comforting, super, super lovey-dovey. And she's talking with Mika and she's like, you know, I just want to be held. I just want to feel like everything's going to be okay. And Lorenzo doesn't really give me that. So they both get to talking and they're like, you know, I don't think Lorenzo is completely into me, or like, I don't think Lorenzo's 100% into you. I think you're more of like a placeholder. And then we actually have Jasmine who's talking with Lorenzo and she's like, do you think that you reach your like limit with Jasmine? He's like, I don't know. So not seeming very, very good. At night we have a game of Villa Receipts, or like Twitter tea. So Villa Receipts, you figure out who said what to who or about who, and then Twitter tea, it is a fill in the blank basically. So that is the game. And then actually going back to the heart rate challenge, Yasmin had whispered in Aiden's ear something like, do you miss me? And Aiden had whispered back, it's not over, sweetheart, something like that, right? So they do end up talking like tonight to see if the door is even slightly open or no, and Yasmin says it's absolutely shut. So Aiden's like, okay, cool, perfect, we worked this out, door is shut. So something that was brought up in Twitter tea was that people think that Lorenzo and Jasmine are basically having an affair in plain sight. So this is causing problems on, are we the same day? No, we're a different day, day 21. Yasmin and Kevin are talking and they're getting really pissed off by the relationship that Jasmine and Lorenzo have, which they say is completely platonic, but yes, I can understand it's like flirty here and there, but it is like completely platonic. They're just like good friends. Kevin actually pulls Jasmine and he tells her that he wants to take a step back emotionally, and he's like, you know, use this time to get to know Lorenzo. Jasmine is annoyed because she's like, I do not want Lorenzo. Like, if I wanted him, I would have explored earlier on. I want you. I've been like dedicated to you for I'm not sure how long, but probably like weeks at this point. She's like, I don't want to take a step back. If you take a step back, like for me, that's done. I basically do not do breaks. So they're not in a very good place. Like nothing is really called off, but Jasmine is pissed off. Kevin is also pissed off. We're gonna see how that resolves itself. So at night we have a text for recoupling and the boys pick. So Fitz picks Lola, Lorenzo picks Yasmin, Kevin picks Jasmine, Simba picks Angelista, Samraj picks Mika, Finn picks Ellie, and Aiden picks Priya. So after the recoupling, Jasmine and Kevin have a chat, and Kevin says that he doesn't want to end things, but he wants to take it day by day, and it seems like they both decided that like they don't want to lose the other person. It's just a little bit bumpy. Like Jasmine is like, you know, he kind of like convinces himself that there's like things wrong. He gets like super in his head about it. They're, you know, like they at least both admitted that like they don't want to like really take a step back from each other. They do want the other person. So we're gonna see how that works out. And that marks the end of day 22. So, you know, I would have moved them back together, but because day 22 we have Casa Amor. So we have 12 other people going on this board. That's why I printed them out so small. Like, I don't know if you see, they're tiny. That's why I'm like, I really hope you guys can see, because I was like, I struggled with Love Island USA when it printed out the pictures bigger. I hope you guys can see. I'll be like really pissed off if I go to edit and like you cannot see anything. I was so scared I was gonna run out of tape. It's like basically done, but I had just enough to put all the Casa Islanders on the board. Do I remember their names? I do not remember all their names. Give me a second, because some were least relevant than others. I need my notes. So as you can see, we actually have 6 girls and 5 guys. There was another Islander who came in, but he was removed like immediately after that. I didn't even realize until I went to get their pictures, and I was like, oh, there was someone else. And I looked at my notes and I was like, oh, there's someone else. But yeah, so he was removed. Our Casa boys are Will, Carlos, Jordan, Aaron, and Tommy. My brain is broken. Every time I see Aaron, I'm like, Aaron, but I'm like, don't say, because when I was typing it in my notes, I was like, Aaron, but I was like, when you say it, do not say Aaron. And then for the girls, we have, am I missing one? I think I am. No. No, okay, we're good. So we have Julia, Martha, Mara, Olivia, Nevaeh, and Charlene. So the Casa Villa has a little game. They play two truths and a lie. And then, well, the Villa doesn't really have anything like fancy going on. They just get to know each other. And yeah, so all the boys share a bed besides Sean. And for the girls, I think the only person who shares a bed, I think Priya, it's with Carlos and Yasmin with Tommy. So the next day, day number 23, we have Ellie who's having a conversation with Lola, and she's like, I'm not really interested by any of these boys, and it's just like proving to me how much more I like Finn. On the Casa side, we have Aiden as well as Martha who are talking, and they're watching Kevin and Charlene really get it on. And Aiden's like, I haven't really seen Kevin like this. I feel like they really have something there. And Aiden is his brother, so when he points out that he's really like being himself, like not holding back. Sorry, I'm just like turning my iPad back on because it turned off. It did really give me doubts in my head. And we have a few couples who kissed: Kevin and Charlene, Lorenzo and Julia. And then is that all for Casa? Oh no, they're all they're all on this side. Where is he? Simba who kisses Mara. And then finally, this really surprised me, Samraj who kisses Martha. At night, there is that game where like both villas compete. It's a game of like spin the bottle and then you do like the little challenge. And the villa actually wins. And to end off the night, we have Yasmin and Tommy who share a little kiss. The next day, we have Yasmin who started to get to know Jordan, but she's like, yes, he's my type on paper. He's what I would go for on the outside, but I miss Cav. Like, I really, really want to see Cav. We also have Lola, who is a little bit stressed because she like purposefully threw her like challenge in like last night's game, but Fitz one hit. So she's like, what could he possibly be doing? Because it's kind of like, why didn't he just like throw it? I threw it, and like everyone expects that we weren't gonna win this one. Honestly, Lola seemed like the most like secure person out there, and she doesn't let like other people like get into her head, which is why I love her. But you can see her like struggling a little bit. And then the Casa girls get a text for a little challenge. So they need to take pictures of the guys that fit a certain prompt, right? So one of them is a guy who's enjoying his lad's holiday a little bit too much, and they take a picture of Simba. There's the easiest head to turn, and I forget who it is, but someone just like takes a picture, and in the background you have Kevin kissing Charlene, which, okay, like the whole point is that like the girls take these pictures and like they send it to the Villa girls. When Jasmine sees this, poor girl breaks down crying. Another prompt is the guy who's loving the test. Julia actually takes a selfie of her kissing Lorenzo, and Yasmin is like a little bit shocked, but she feels like less guilty because she is getting to know Tommy. So she's like, what, it's like fine if I get to know him. There's a boy who can talk his way out of anything, and that is Samraj. A boy who's not giving his OG girl any thought, that's Aiden. And then finally, a boy that makes your heart race, and that is, where is he? And that's Finn. That's pretty much all that happens this day. And then day 25, we have the text for the Casa Amor recoupling. So the board is about to change insanely. The first people to go are Priya. So Priya decides to couple up with Jordan, and then we wait to see if Aiden brings anyone back. I love how they did it this season. Oh my god, it's so messy. So the guy walks out first, and then like he stops somewhere, and then you wait to see if a girl like comes instead of both of them walking out together. Oh my god, the stress I felt. Aiden actually decides to bring Martha back, so we have two new couples. Next, you have Mika, who decides to recouple with Samraj, and Samraj walks back single, so they form another couple. Yasmin decides to bring back Tommy, and that's perfect because Lorenzo decides to bring back Julia, so we have two new couples. Lola and Fitz, to no one's surprise, decide to recouple with each other. Next, it's Yasmin. So Yasmin, her mentality was, I'm not gonna bring someone back for the sake of bringing someone back. Like, I want Kevin. I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna say I want Kevin, and we're gonna see what he does, right? Because she was like, I could have brought Jordan back before she knew that Priya was gonna bring him back, but she was like, it just doesn't feel right. So Jasmine decides to stay single, to recouple with Kevin, and then Kevin walks out alone, but then Charlene comes out with him, so they form a couple, and Jasmine is left single. Next, it's Ellie. She decides to recouple with Finn, and Finn walks out alone, so they have their new couple. Angelista decides to stick with Simba. However, Simba walks back with Mara. So after this recoupling, obviously emotions are very, very high. So Angelissa is fuming and she's like, you know, I think my experience here is done. I think I'm gonna leave. And Simba is all like, oh, you know, like if you leave, I'm gonna leave too. Which is like, imagine how Mara feels, you know? Like imagine her overhearing this. We have Calvin who pulls Jasmine and they have a chat. And Calvin's like, you know, me bringing Charlene back doesn't mean that I want to close things off with you, that like I'm done exploring you. And Jasmine's like, what? Like you could tell that Jasmine's getting like really, really pissed off. And then we have Mika and Samraj who talk, and Samraj like sits her down, tells her everything that he did in Casa, and obviously Mika isn't feeling really, really great. Like she is crying, very, very emotional, and that marks the end of day 25. We're gonna clean up this board. I hope we're struggling with tape. If I come back in the same outfit, you know it's the same day. If I come back with a different outfit, you know that I had to take a break filming because I had to go buy tape. On day number 26, we have, where are they? We have Angelista and Mara who talk, and they basically just like call Simba a pig, which I find like really, really funny. We also have Charlene and Jasmine who talk, and Charlene was like very surprised by Jasmine and Kevin's connection, and she tells Jasmine, it's like, I like how he was talking about you in Casa. I didn't think that it was like as serious as it actually like was. And then finally Jasmine and Kevin do speak, and Kevin says that he's like 100% for Jasmine, she's his number one priority, and Jasmine is like, that makes absolutely no sense because like you're coupled up with Charlene. But his like defense or excuse is that like he hasn't kissed Charlene since he brought her back, but he also still wants to get to know her, which like, okay, sure. We have Angie who finally talks to Simba. She's like, I'm done with your bullshit. Like, you cannot keep telling me that you want me after keep going to explore other girls and always come back to me. Like, I'm tired of these triangles. I'm tired of all the things that you're putting me through. Like, you either pick me or you pick someone else. Like, I'm done. I'm done. Like, she doesn't, not threaten to leave, but she doesn't mention, like, leaving. She's just like, I'm done with, like, all these triangles. And then we finally have Charlene and Kevin who speak, and Kevin says he's going to be, like, cutting it off to focus on Jasmine. And Charlene is pissed off because she's like, you know, like, I did kind of expect it, but if you knew that you didn't want me, you wanted her, why even bother to entertain me? Why even, and like, you know, that's one thing, but it's like, you brought me back. The audacity of you to bring me back when you knew that you didn't want me. But anyways, that's how we close off day 26. Day 27, we get a text and it's movie night. So the movies that we have is Jasmine and Lorenzo. Basically, do you remember when we had Yasmin and Kevin who went to the sleepover with a few of the bombshells? We have them talking, not like really entertaining them getting back together, but it's just like, oh, like jokes, you know, it's like if they both decide to couple up with someone, might as well go explore this again. Like that whole affair thing that they had going on. That's the video that we see. We also see Aiden playing matchmaker. Maybe not playing matchmaker, but that's how I have it in my notes. Matchmaker in the sense that like he was speaking with Charlene and he's like telling her that Kevin, like he seems happy with her, and she, like he basically sees Kevin more with Charlene than with Jasmine, and also him talking, well, speaking with Martha at Casa, watching them and being like, they're such a great match and things like that. Well, we have a lot of Simba. So we have Simba, his whole like behavior at Casa. And then we also have Simba and him getting to know Mika, especially at the sleepover, to show Angelissa everything that was going on. We have Sean in Casa where he, like his behavior in like challenges, like not that he did anything bad, but it's just like what he did like during the challenge that the guys won. And then we have like small comments from him like here and there about wanting a test to make sure things with Lola are strong, but nothing bad, you know. Like I can see that they're like taking like harmless things that he's saying to like frame them in a certain way, but like generally like nothing bad. Like Sean is like very good guy. And then we also have the full, not preview, but it's like everyone sees what exactly was going on between Charlene and Kevin at Casa. After that, we have Lola and Fitz who speak. Lola, remember, she was a little bit like annoyed because he won his challenge and she didn't, so she was like, well, she like purposefully like failed it out of respect for why am I saying Sean? Out of respect for Fitz. And you know, like they talk, she finally sees like what he did and she's like, oh, you know, like no hard feelings, like everything is fine. We also have Jasmine who is furious with Kevin. Furious because now she's like seeing what, like one, what he did, two, like why Charlene is so just like she is the way that she is, and she saw that there was like something. And I mean, like there's like that, like she's furious with Kevin, but she's also furious with Aiden because she's like, the audacity of you to be going around and like doing this like behind my back when we are happy. Kevin tries to pull her, but she's like, I do not want anything to do with you. I do not want to talk to you. We kind of have the same treatment between Angie and Simba, where he tries to talk to her to explain things, and she's like, I don't want to hear it. Day number 28 is a bit of an emotional day. So we have Jasmine. No, that's not Jasmine. We have Jasmine who sees Kevin and Charlene speaking, and she completely breaks down. It's the most like heartbreaking thing. You have Lorenzo and Mika who are trying to comfort her, and she's telling them like, you know, it's not something that I said, but I truly love him, and that's why it hurts so much, because I really have strong, like, it's not just strong feelings, I love the guy. And then we also have Angelista who speaks with Martha and with Yulia, and she's like, I love, it's actually kind of funny because in my notes I wrote Opie. I don't know why I wrote Opie when he was like eliminated from like a long time ago. He's like literally here, but she's like, I think I do love Simba. We have Simba who actually has a talk with Mara. He tells her, I mean, he kind of has his like shitty moments, but at the end he's like really like open with her and honest, and he tells Mara that he thinks that he loves Angelista, and Mara gives him this like pep talk, and she's like, stop being stupid, just go tell her that you love her and like have your happily ever after. Like, stop being an idiot and just like be honest, like lay your heart out, show her what's in your heart. Basically, we have Jasmine and Calvin who finally talk, and he tells her that he's 100% for her. He's gonna cut things off with Charlene. He has really strong feelings for her, and he actually pulls Charlene after and cuts things off. We also have Aiden and Priya who talk, and they're both like, you know, we didn't really have the chance to explore our connection before Casa, and it's like something that has been on the back of my mind, like I do want to explore. So they both decide to see if there's anything over there. And how we end the night is actually super cute. So Simba ends up pulling all the guys, saying that he wrote this like little speech or like declaration of love for Angelista, and he has everyone gathered by the fireplace because his mentality is like, I publicly humiliated her, so I want to publicly lift her up. And it is actually very cute. So we have growth in Simba, and I'm so happy because Andrew truly deserves the world. Day number 28, we have Kevin who pulls Jasmine to the hideaway because he didn't want to like do anything in front of like Charlene's face to be like respectful. He was like, you know what, I want to do something special for Jasmine. So he pulls her to the hideaway. They have a really nice date together. When they come out, Charlene is actually kind of annoyed because she's like, that's like super disrespectful doing it in front of my face. And I can understand her point of view, but I can also understand that it's like, if he's gonna be like lovey-dovey and kissy with her, he doesn't want to do it like in front of her face. You know, there's that. And then at night, we have a recoupling where the boys choose. We have Tommy who chooses Yasmin, Samaj who chooses Mika, Aiden who chooses Priya, Fitz who chooses Lola, Jordan who chooses, where is she? Who chooses Martha, Kevin who chooses Jasmine, Lorenzo who chooses Yulia, Simba who chooses Angelista, and Finn who chooses Ellie. Unfortunately, meaning that Mara and Martha are both dumped from the villa. No, Mara and Charlene, my bad, are both dumped from the villa. Before I cross them off, I want to mention the last thing that happened this day is that Aiden and Priya go to the terrace and they share a little kiss, and I'm like, finally, I love this. Day number 30. So we have Aiden and Martha. Where are they? Yes, Aiden and Martha. And Aiden basically tells her that him picking Priya to couple up with isn't him cutting it off with her. Like, he still does really want to get to know her. And Martha, she's like, you know, I'm not gonna cut it off like with you. I'm still interested in getting to know you, but Jordan is my number one priority. We do have Yulia and Lorenzo who have a chat, and Yulia's kind of like annoyed because all the girls are getting breakfast or getting coffee, and Lorenzo isn't giving it to her. Like, Lorenzo did say that he's like not that type of guy, like he's not really gonna do it, but Yulia's like, well, this is like literally the bare minimum, this is like Love Island, like what are you doing? And basically her whole point in like the conversation that she's having with Lorenzo is that like, yes, you give me affection at night, but it's like, I want the affection during the day because it means more. It's like not that it's like in front of people so it's like real, but it's just like, it's not like secret, it's not like hidden. It's like, that will show me that you're actually interested in me, because now I'm not really feeling that. So we have a text for the couple goals game where, you know, what you have to like show, how do I explain it? It's like, let's say the guys go first and it's like, oh, what's like your partner's favorite, I don't know, whatever. So the guys write their answer, then the girls like write their answer, and like they have to show the like same answer as the guy, and then that's gonna like give them points. And it's like, they do it for the girls, they do it for the guys. So the challenge did get a little bit heated, and there's a lot of animosity between Lola and Yulia. Like, we didn't really see much of this, but Yulia was kind of like into Fitz during Casa, but Fitz like didn't really entertain it. And like, it's weird because we didn't really see much on screen, so I do not know what exactly did happen, but I do see that Yulia is a little bit like, she really voices her opinion. She like really like she doesn't really have a filter. She doesn't really hold back, and in this challenge it did get a little bit like, not just a little bit, like really heated, especially between like Lola, Fitz, and Yulia. But anyways, after the challenge we have Aiden and Martha who talk, and they both decide to focus on their respective couples. We also have Yulia, who she does see that there's like a distance between her and the girls, and she decides to pull all the girls to the fireplace to apologize. Everyone comes besides Lola. Lola's like, I want nothing to do with her. Like, I'm just, no, absolutely not. But the other girls like listen to Yulia, and she expresses that like, this is just how she is. She doesn't mean any harm. It seems like things are getting better, because since Casa, like, there was a little bit of coldness towards Yulia, but also like, was she really helping herself? Personally, from what I saw through the edits, no. But anyways, that's where we leave off day 30. So day 31, we have our last two bombshells of the season. We have Alicia as well as Ethan. So the main thing that happens during the day is that both bombshells invite some islanders to go on a date. So Ethan, he invites Martha, Jasmine, and Priya, and then Alicia invites Aiden, where is he? Finn, as well as Lorenzo. That's pretty much like all that we see during the day. The girls and the guys like don't really see what is going on during the dates, and at some points we have Finn, who like, because all the guys were like obviously like nice and polite to Alicia, but Finn, he does like twirl her around. He's like, oh, you know, like, show me your outfit and everything. Ellie's gonna find out, right? Ellie finds out after. She doesn't like it, and she's talking with Finn, and she's like, are you interested in getting to know Alicia? He doesn't really give her like a clear yes or no answer, and Ellie's like, you know what, like, if you are cool, do whatever you want, but I'm leaving. So Finn is like, do you mean like the couple or the villa? I think I'm gonna leave the villa because I found what I want. I don't want to stay here if like what I want like doesn't want me. We don't know what's gonna happen at this point. Like, you know, we had Angie who was like, I think I'm gonna leave the villa. Now we have Ellie who's like, I think I'm gonna leave the villa. Things aren't really going well, but that's where we end day 31. Like, yeah, as I said, like, super short day. Day number 32, Alicia, she's getting to know people on like a whole other level. So she decides to pull Aiden and Finn into the hideaway, and they do play a little game of truth and dare. Obviously Priya and Ellie see it. Priya, she's not like super attached, I guess you can say, to Aiden. So she like, obviously she's annoyed, but she's not like freaking out as much as Ellie. Once they come out, we have Aiden and Priya who have a conversation, and they're like, okay, you know, like, we are both interested in getting to know other people. Like, where are our boundaries? Like, what can we do? What can we not do? And they agreed that, you know, like, you can get to know other people, just like no kissing outside of challenges. We later have a text for the game Snog, Marry, Pie. So that all happens. The game is done. But then we get another text where it asks the islanders to stand in their couple, and it reveals that there was a public vote for the most favorite couple. The most favorite ends up being Yulia and Lorenzo. Honestly, I was kind of surprised because, like, yes, I like Lorenzo. I understand why he's a fan favorite. I was surprised by how much people seem to like Yulia. Personally, she is not for me. But anyways, they ended up being the favorite couple. Obviously, it's Love Island, so the least favorite couples are always at risk, and that is Mika and Samaj, which really did surprise me, as well as Lola and Fitz. I'm like, I'm sorry, like, are we seeing the same thing? And then Martha and Jordan. Because they want to be messy, it is Yulia and Lorenzo, the most favorite couple, that has to decide who to send home. So Lola and Fitz are talking, and they're like, you know what, like, if you guys want to send us home, like, we have no problem because we found what we're looking for. Like, don't let someone else like miss out on an opportunity just because you want us to stay. So they go talk, and then in the end they do decide. I was so mad. They do decide to dump Lola and Fitz, and guys, they were truly my favorites. I loved Lola. I was so sad to see them leave. I was so surprised to see that people ranked them lowly, as well as Mika and Samraj. Like, respectfully, they should have ranked higher than Yulia and Lorenzo. Truly, Yulia and Lorenzo, I don't understand it. I don't understand. But yeah, Lola and Fitz are gone. The next day, we have Alicia and Ethan who get a text, and they can go on a double date. So they have to pick the islander who they want to go on the date with. Obviously, we have Alicia. Well, I mean, I guess like not obviously, but Alicia does decide to go with Finn, and Ethan decides to pick Priya, and both couples kiss on this date. When they come back, we have Finn and Ellie who talk. Ellie's like, okay, you know, like, you went on this date. Let me know like what's going on between you and Alicia. So Finn says that like he wants to get to know Alicia, but he still wants to get to know Ellie. And Ellie's like, okay, you know, like, I don't want this, like, this is not gonna happen. If you want to get to know me, you have to be 100% in with me, because if not, like, I'm gonna leave. And Finn, like, he is starting to lean more towards Ellie. So we're like, okay, cool. He's gonna end things with Alicia. Also forgot to mention, Finn does tell her about the kiss. Then we also have Priya and Aiden who have their own chat. So Priya also tells him about the date and the kiss, and they're talking about like what's gonna happen. So Priya does ask him how he feels with Alicia, and he tells her like, okay, you know, you are getting to know Ethan, so I'm not gonna close it off with Alicia, but you are like higher up in my head than her. And Priya's like, okay, well, you know, I'm at a point where I have to pick who I want to spend the rest of my time with over here. I like you, I like Ethan. If you want me, you have to put in more effort, because Ethan is putting in that effort, and if I don't see it from you, then Ethan is the obvious choice. And you know what, at this point I was kind of like, I kind of ship Aiden and Priya. Like, I know they've been together for like, well, I mean, in the villa together for like a while, but they never really like, I guess, tested things, oh my god, my throat, tested things out. But I was like, I kind of see it. I kind of do see it. So Finn ends up pulling Alicia, and before this conversation we have Ellie and Alicia who talked, and Alicia was telling her that on the date Finn had told her that he wants to give like all his energy to her. But then Ellie's like, okay, well, he literally just pulled me and he said he's gonna be 100% for me because he's like leaning more towards me. So both girls are confused. But anyways, Finn ends up pulling Alicia, and Alicia brings up that conversation, and then Finn is like, you know, I think I'm gonna close, like, I'm gonna end things with you. Like, I do want to focus all my energy on Ellie. And Alicia's annoyed because she's like, you are literally saying the same thing to both of us, but like, whatever, I'm not putting up with this, like, go have fun. The last thing that happens today is that Simba and Angelista are like getting to a better place after the entire mess that happened, like, after Casa, and he does tell her that he loves her. And truly, Simba, like, I did not like him, I really did not like him, but I feel like he showed so much growth. And honestly, like, the person, like, the Simba who we see now is not the same Simba who like walked in. Yes, Simba's not my favorite, but I am like really like surprised at his development. So day number 35, you remember how Finn had that conversation with Alicia, right? He ended up sleeping in the same bed as Alicia. So the guys pull him, and especially Samwa, she's just like, you cannot tell Ellie that you're 100% like all in with her, but then like be all cuddly and cute in bed with Alicia. So Finn does pull Alicia, and he like formally like cuts it off, because like, yes, it was kind of like over like yesterday, but they did sleep in the same bed. So he's like, you really have to like close it off. And then perfect timing, we have a text for a recoupling. So we have who picks first? The girls decide. So Jasmine picks Calvin, Martha picks Jordan, Mika picks Samraj, Yasmin picks Tommy, Ellie picks Finn, Angelissa picks Simba, Yulia picks Lorenzo, and then Alicia picks Aiden, and Priya picks Ethan. The next day, date number 36, it's a little bit messy. So we have Yulia who's talking to Aiden, and she's, oh my god, I feel like it's so bright. Is this better? Yeah, okay. So we have Yulia who's talking with Aiden. She's like basically selling Alicia to Aiden. Priya sees, Priya is pissed off. So Aiden does pull Alicia, and he ends things with her. And Alicia is annoyed because she's like, I feel like your feelings for Priya are not genuine. You guys just have both been here for longer, so you think that it's like the safer thing, when it's like, you're clearly into me. I don't know, she's just like really, really annoyed. And it's like, I understand her, but then also it's like, you didn't really see what's going on between like Priya and Aiden. And then after, we have Priya and Aiden who talk, and they decide, you know what, since we're both Ethan and Alicia are annoyed and we do want to spend time together, but we also don't want to like rub it in their faces, let's just go to the hideaway. And they do spend the rest of the day in the hideaway. Aiden proposes to stay the night, but Priya's like, no, you know, I don't think we should do that. But they do spend the rest of the day there like alone in private. Yeah, at night, obviously, since they come back, Priya sleeps with Aiden, and then Alicia sleeps with no, oh my god, Aiden. And then at night, the last thing that happens today is that Yasmin and Tommy decide to be exclusive, which, guys, I love Yasmin. I love Yasmin and Tommy together. I was so happy. Day number 37, I need to pick up my iPad because things get a little bit well, there's like a challenge and it's a little bit messy. So we have this little like Love Island festival, and Maya comes in and they play a game. So what goes on is that like everyone has like headphones and like a blindfold on, and then one couple goes to the center, picks up a card that says something, and they have to put in front of like the islander that they think follows that like prompt, and it's completely anonymous, so no one knows. I didn't write who puts it towards who, but I like wrote down who receives it, I guess. So the first little prompt is a couple that looks great but has zero substance of convo, and whoever gets it decides to give it to Martha and Jordan. For the islander that is being desperate, they put it in front of Aiden and Alicia, like more aiming it towards Alicia. This couple is secretly bored but too scared to admit it. They give it to Ellie and to Finn, Ethan, but leaning more towards it being for Finn. This couple is only together for the 50k that goes to Mika and to Samraj. The next one is this couple brings out the worst in each other, and it's given to Jasmine and to Kevin. The Islander who's a walking red flag, that goes towards Finn. And then lastly, the Islander who is obsessed with drama in the villa, and that goes to Yulia. So after the game, people have fun. Some people reveal what they like, the prompt that they had and that they gave to the other person. And then we have Maya who comes back because there was a public vote and we already know someone is going to be going home. And this time it was a public vote for the most favorite Islander. So the people who are at risk, we have Mika, Alicia, and Martha for the girls. And then for guys, we have Samraj, Jordan, as well as Finn. So the people who have the least amount of votes, I think to no one's real surprise, Ethan as well as Alicia. So they're both going home. They both leave. And then Maya announces that they're not the only people who are going home. And then out of Martha, Jordan, Mika, and Samraj, Maya asked the Islanders to say who is not here for love. Mika and Samraj offered to walk because they're like, well, you know, like we found what we wanted. But everyone ends up picking Martha and Jordan. So unfortunately, they are dumped from the villa as well. Oh my god. My apologies. I was going completely wrong. In my head, it was like they were the only two people that were left. Forget it. Jordan, he's fine. Jordan is good. Jordan stays. So Martha gets dumped and then Finn also gets dumped. But Ellie's like, you know what? I wanted Finn. Like, I found him. I want him. I'm okay walking with him. And she decides to walk out. Guys, I truly think... Oh my god, I think I need to sit down for a minute. Ethan is good. Ethan is safe. Ethan's chilling. God, okay, so the least favored were Jordan and Alicia, and they're gone. And then when Maya asked the Islanders to pick who should be, like, who's not here to actually find love, Finn and Martha were voted, and then Ellie walked. That's what happened. Oh my god, do we see this? The board looks so empty. It's like actually kind of sad. Anyways, day number 38. So we have, where's my marker? I couldn't find it, but I have a black one. But anyways, we have Angelista and Jasmine who talk. And Jasmine is feeling like she does have more feelings than Kevin. And she's like, you know, neither of us said that we love each other, but I feel like it's pretty obvious that I do. And I feel like he is not that much into me. And she tells Angie something that I feel like we've all like been there, done that, experienced that. She's like, I feel like I'm being, oh my god, my marker. She's like, I feel like I'm being annoying when I'm like being around him because like he's not into me. And then we also have Aiden and Kevin who are having their own conversation. And Aiden brings up, well, they're like talking about like relationships outside of the villa. So Aiden brings up a point that it's like there's no such thing as like exclusive. Like either you're together and you're boyfriend and girlfriend or you're not. But then he also says that just because like you love someone doesn't mean that you should be like boyfriend and girlfriend, which I do agree with like the first point he said. I don't necessarily agree with like the second, but you know, having that first thing come out of Aiden, I was like, that honestly really did surprise me. And basically Aiden actually gives Kevin a really good pep talk and he says, you know, if you love Jasmine, tell her now. But if you want to wait to be like boyfriend girlfriend until outside of the villa, that makes perfect sense. But like don't like force it now because like you're scared. But also like don't delay telling her that you love her. Like if you actually do feel that way, just tell her. Which we love Big Brother Aiden. Like Aiden also so much growth since day one, like truly unrecognizable, but in like the best ways possible. And we finish off the day with Lorenzo and Tommy planning a little double date for like a waffle dessert type thing with Yulia and Yasmin, which is super cute. The next day, day number 40, it is family day, so we get to meet everyone's families. We have Aiden, who, not that Aiden is like an unwilling second party, but Jasmine's sister kind of does act a little flirty with Aiden, and he doesn't really shut it down. So that's a little thing that's going to be coming back later on. And then at night, we have a text for a recoupling. It is the girls who pick. So Yasmin, obviously she's going to pick Kevin. Mika picks Samraj. Yulia picks Lorenzo. Yasmin picks Tommy. Angelista picks Simba. And then Priya, she decides to pick Aiden, meaning unfortunately that Ethan is dumped. Also, at the end of the day, after the recoupling, we have Tommy and Yasmin who talk and they tell each other, and oh my god, and they tell each other that they love each other. So super cute. I'm going to tell you what happens day 41 because I literally only have like 2 points before moving moving Ethan. So we get a text and Ethan, no, oh my god, Aiden and Priya have a little date, which is super cute, super fun. But then Calvin and Aiden are speaking after the date. Calvin is like, I feel like you guys wouldn't really go together because your personalities are so strong that I think it will clash. And Aiden, like, he is defending his feelings for Priya, but he's also like not blind, you know, like he is very aware on how their personalities are. And that is like literally the end of day 41. So we're gonna move Ethan away and then we're gonna hop into day 42. One thing I forgot to mention is that last night Priya and Aiden do decide to spend the night in the hideaway. But anyways, next morning we have Yulia, Mika, and Yasmin who all decide to make a little breakfast for the guys, well, their guys, which is super cute. And then Aiden is speaking with Calvin and with Samraj. And Aiden says that, like, you know, at this point, like, we've gone on a date, we spent the night in the hideaway, and we met each other's families. Like, I feel like I should have more feelings for Priya than I do, because it's like with Yasmin, like, I did feel more. It's weird that I don't have this with Priya. And Calvin's like, you know, I really don't see you guys working out because, like, this is not how you normally are. Like, to me, it feels like you're trying to force something that isn't there. But, you know, like, in the end of the day, like, Aiden does know how he's feeling and he decides. So he does end up pulling Priya and they do talk. And Aiden is like, you know, this is how I'm feeling. Like, I feel like at this point I should be having more feelings for you. I'm confused why I don't have it. And Priya's like, okay, you know, but like on the date, like things were very good. So I'm kind of confused like where this is coming from. But the Aiden is like, it wasn't like before the date, it was like really after the date that I realized that something is wrong. Like I shouldn't be having more feelings than what I do right now. So we're gonna see where this goes. We end up having a text for the grafties. So, oh god, the grafties. The first, I guess, like prize or the first round of nominations, let's put it that way. The first round of nominations is the flirtiest performance. So the nominees are Lorenzo, Aiden, as well as Mika, and the award ends up going to Aiden. Aiden wins a lot this night. The next one, Aiden also wins, which is, I guess, like biggest plot twist. It would be Yulia, Priya, and Aiden like together. Aiden by himself, as well as Lorenzo, and Aiden wins this one too. We have raunchiest moments, which we have Priya and Aiden, Yulia and Lorenzo, and then Aiden by himself, and Aiden wins it again. Most dramatic performance, we have Priya and Samraj, Jasmine and Simba does end up winning. Most emotional performance, we have Simba once again, Lorenzo, Yasmin, as well as, where is it? Samraj and Simba, but Lorenzo ends up winning this one. And then the last one, it's a Keep My Name Out of Your Mouth award. So obviously the Islanders who left, they were doing some talking. So the nominees do involve like people who are now outside of the villa. So the first nominee, Charlene, where is Charlene when she's talking about Aiden. We also have Alicia talking about Aiden, Charlene talking about Mika, and then where are they? Fitz and Lola talking about Yulia, and then in the end, Charlene wins by talking about Mika, so Mika goes up to like accept the award. And that's pretty much all that happens today. So day number 43, we have like less than a week left in the villa, which is like absolutely crazy. But anyways, day number 43, we have Priya and Aiden who talk, and Aiden apologizes for a lot of things that came out during the grafties, and he says that like he still really wants to try to pursue things with Priya. And Priya's like, you know, if you're not really feeling it, I don't see the point. But they do agree to like, you know, maybe try a bit more, and like Aiden might have these feelings that come up because he seems like he wants to do it. So Priya's like, I guess, sure, but it's like, I'm gonna take a big step back because like I do have these feelings. You not having them like makes me feel a little bit worried. We're also having a lot of problems with Yulia. So during the graphics, she was like speaking out a lot, which is like just, you know, how her personality is. So all the girls are mad at her. Jasmine and Yulia do have a conversation, and Yulia's pissed off because of like Jasmine's friendship with Lorenzo. But Jasmine is like, I was literally with him from day one. Like, we are friends. Can you like stop freaking out? There's like nothing going on between us. So there's that little animosity. And then we also have Yulia, who kind of gets into an argument with Yasmin as well as Jasmine. Then Yulia also pulls Priya, and she's basically telling her that she thinks that Aiden is being a game player and she doesn't really believe in their couple, but it's not from Priya's side, it's only from Aiden's side. And then Priya ends up talking with Jasmine, and she tells Jasmine what Yulia told her. But then Jasmine is like, she literally, like, Yulia literally told me that she thinks that it's on your end and that things aren't genuine. So Jasmine is mad at Yulia, Priya is mad at Yulia, everyone is mad at Yulia. And basically, like, at night, the girls get into a huge fight in the dressing room. The guys can hear, so like they go to like see if everything's like okay. Massive fight over, I guess, like Yulia's behavior or like her comments during the grafties. The next day, number 44, we have Maya who comes back and we have a little challenge. It's a challenge at night, but it's like during the day there's like a podcast where they answer questions from like the public, right? And they were asked a certain amount of questions, but then Maya later comes back to the villa and she like has everyone reveal like what they said, what their answers to these questions were, and then seeing like what the public voted. So one of the questions was, who's the most fame hungry? So Yasmin and Tommy say that they think that it's Yulia and Lorenzo. Yulia and Lorenzo think it's Priya and Aiden. Priya and Aiden think Yulia and Lorenzo. Mika and Samraj also say Yulia and Lorenzo, which is the same thing for Jasmine and Kevin. And then finally, Angelus and Simba think that it's Priya and Aiden. And then the public vote reveals that they believe that it is Priya and Aiden. The next one is, which couple brushes the most red flags up the carpet? So Jasmine and Kevin go first. And well, them as well as Angelus and Simba do vote that they think that it's Priya and Aiden. And actually pretty much everyone votes Priya and Aiden besides Priya and Aiden that votes Yulia and Lorenzo. And the public vote does reveal that it is, well, that most people believe that it is Priya and Aiden. The next one, most likely to split because one of them cheats. So Yulia and Lorenzo think it's Jasmine and Kevin. Priya and Aiden think it's Yulia and Lorenzo. Yulia and Lorenzo and Jasmine and Kevin think that it would be Angelus and Simba. And then Angelus and Tommy and Yasmin and Angelus and Simba and Yasmin and Tommy believe that it's Aiden and Priya. And then the public vote reveals that, once again, they believe that it's Aiden and Priya. The next one gets a little like mix of answers, which is interesting because we haven't really seen that. The next question is, which couple is the strongest in the villa but the weakest on the outside? Jasmine and Kevin decide to vote Yasmin and Tommy. Mika and Samraj and Priya and Aiden decide to go for Yulia and Lorenzo. And then finally, Yasmin and Tommy decide to vote Mika and Samraj. The public vote reveals that they believe that it's actually Jasmine and Kevin who would not work out on the outside. And then finally, the last question, which two couples are the least compatible? And when I heard that, I was like, this sounds like a dumping is coming. So the first ones to go are Jasmine and Kevin, and they say Priya and Aiden as well as Yulia and Lorenzo. And that is the same sentiment from Mika and Samraj. Angelus and Timba say Yasmin and Tommy as well as Priya and Aiden. Priya and Aiden say Yulia and Lorenzo as well as Mika and Samraj. Yasmin and Tommy say Mika and Samraj as well as Priya and Aiden. And then finally, Yulia and Lorenzo say Priya and Aiden as well as Jasmine and Kevin. So we do not have a dumping tonight, but the couples that have the most votes, oh my god, if I can open my marker, are Yulia and Lorenzo, Priya and Aiden, as well as Mika and Samraj. So Maya announces that there will be a public vote to see who to dump in 24 hours. So everyone is like safe for tonight, but impending doom is like basically coming. Day number 45 is a really quick one. So we have Priya and Aiden who have a conversation and they're like, you know, we don't really want to ruin the friendship. Like we want to leave like from the villa on good terms. So let's just close this off over here and continue as friends. Yulia and Lorenzo do end up being, well, do decide to be exclusive, which super fun. And then at night we have a huge dinner for everyone, which is wholesome, cute. Everyone has like nice speeches, but then we do get a text and it is revealed that out of Yulia and Lorenzo, Priya and Aiden, and Mika and Samraj, the couple with the least amount of, well, the most amount of votes from the public is Priya and Aiden, meaning that they are dumped from the villa. I ended up moving Jasmine and Kevin because we are going to need a little bit of space, because the next day we get a text, day number 46, so it's like literally the last day, we get a text that the old Islanders are coming back and they will vote who they think should not make it to the final. So the first person who goes is, where is he? Is Opie, and he decides that out of all these couples, Yasmin and Tommy should not go to the final. So I'm going to add a little one next to them. Can we see? I really hope we can see. Next we have Lola who goes, and she decides to give her vote to Yulia and Lorenzo. Tommy as well as Robin decide to give their votes to Mika and Samraj, meaning that they have two. Sam as well as Tina decide to give their votes to Yasmin and Tommy, which leaves them with three. Chitty and Charlene both vote Jasmine and Kevin. Oh my god, my iPad like flipped so I could not see. And then we have, oh my god, I need to find them all. We have Ethan, where is she? Alicia, Finn, as well as Hallie, who all give their votes to Mika and Samraj. So that's another 1, 2, 3, 4 votes, which is a little scary because I truly loved Mika and Samraj. Mara decided to give her votes to Jasmine. No, wait. Yeah, my bad. Jasmine and Calvin. I was getting mixed up like the person underneath. So after her, we have Victoria who goes, and Victoria gives her votes to Yasmin and Tommy. Fitz decides to vote for Yulia and Lorenzo. After him, we have Ellie, who she gives her votes to Yasmin and Tommy. And then the last person to go is Martha, and she gives her vote to Mika and Samraj, which blows my mind, but that means that Mika, oh my god, my marker's not working. Mika and Samraj, guys, they're dumped. But it does not end there. It does not end there. So you know how every single year we have like 4 people that go to the final? Oh no, this time is different. We have Mika and Samraj who are packing their bags, and then they get a text who should not be going to the final. It's so hard for them because like they have to like, and these people are like literally outside like chilling in the villa. They're upstairs packing, right? But in the end, they do decide to vote for Yasmin and for Tommy, meaning that our finalists this season are Yulia and Lorenzo, Jasmine and Calvin, as well as Angelista and Simba. And actually, you know, it's kind of funny. Like I was gonna rearrange them, put it clean with like little papers to announce like who won, but it's just like so perfectly done that I feel like I have to do it. Literally in the order, in third place, we have Angelista and Simba. In second place, it's Jasmine and Calvin, and in first, it is Julia and Lorenzo. So, can we talk about this for a second? I don't like that Julia and Lorenzo won. Like, truly, I don't. I don't know what other people are seeing, if they're seeing things that I'm not seeing, because I do not like them. I think out of these 3 couples, Jasmine and Calvin should have won. Truly, I believe they should have won. Angelista, Simba second, Julia and Lorenzo third. I do not agree with this. Like, I do understand why Mika and Samraj, actually not really. Like, I guess most people's, like, reasoning why they should be dumped is that both have never been in relationships, so it's not going to work on the outside, which I think that they deserve to be here more than these 2. Like, yes, I love Lorenzo, but I don't like Yulia. And then Yasmin and Tommy, we know that they're like, why people voted for them was that it got revealed that Tommy kind of got out of a relationship like soon to be like early close to going on the show, but it was like a little bit of like a messy situation that people are like unsure of his intentions. I still think that they deserve to be in the final more than them. But yeah, this is Love Island UK season 13, summer 2026. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think with these finalists, because truly I'm not happy. I do not like it. And you know what? Let me know also, what show do you want me to break down next? So I am finishing Vanderpump Rules. I'm currently at season 10, so I literally have like only 2 more seasons to go, then it's done. I have pre-filmed my season 8 and 9 video, and I'm like currently filming the other one while I'm watching. But after that, I'm like, what are we gonna do in 2027? Like, obviously we do have Love Island, but am I gonna watch like Love Island All Stars in the winter? No. I was like, we could do Love Island Australia. That might be fun. But I'm like, I think I need more ideas for like TV shows to talk to you guys about. So if you have any ideas, let me know down below. I would love to hear what you guys have in mind. And yeah, that's all for today's video. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed it, and leave a thumbs up. Also, all my socials are down below if you want to go check me out, my TikTok, Instagram, and my Goodreads. And that's gonna be it for me today. I desperately need to drink water, so stay safe, protect your vibe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys.